All right, this is Google Docs 101. We're going to learn about how to go in and create a Google Doc, save it to a specific area, and then add things to that document. So I'm going to click on My Drive, and it's going to take me to my Rocky Mountain Prep drive. So in here, this is just my generic drive, so everything saved in here is just mine. And then everything that I want to go to a certain area needs to be saved in a certain folder. So I'm going to go to New in the top left, Google Docs. And Google Docs is basically just a Word document, but Microsoft Word does not exist on these work laptops. So if you want to write up anything or create anything, Google Docs is going to be where you end up going a lot. So if you learn nothing else, it should be how to use Google Docs. So you can title it up here, like Google Doc example. Great. And then if you want to put some stuff in here, you can click and drag from your desktop. If I'm going to show how to get to it, I'm going to do plus. It's going to take me to my favorites tab. I'm going to go to Google to try to find an image. Let's say I wanted to look up black cats. I'm going to go to images. Cool, lots of black cats. I love all the black cats. So I'm going to click on one that I like. Great, I see this. And then I can either hold it down and drag it where the little PDF right here will show up and I can drag it to my desktop, or I can do a screenshot. To do a screenshot of a specific area, you would do Shift on your keyboard, Shift, Command, and then the number 4. And then suddenly my mouse turned into this little icon. And then I'm gonna click and drag it over what I want. And then when I let go, it'll make a little sound. And then my picture will show up right here. I just grabbed it from the corner and I'm dragging it to right here. Cool. So now I have my picture of a black cat. So like if I ask you like, hey, I want to do a lesson on cats versus dogs. So I need a bunch of pictures of cats and then a bunch of pictures of dogs so that I can ask a kid, like, where's the cat, where's the dog? And I have pictures. I want them to be able to generalize what a cat is and what a dog is. So I have this. If I click out of it, cool, it looks like this. I can scroll. If I want it to be smaller, I'm going to click on the image, go to this corner, and it's going to turn into an arrow, and then drag it. Great. I'm going to add some spaces in between, and now I want, let's see, another cat. Great. It shows up in the bottom corner. Drag it, put it right here. It's super big. Don't worry about it. You click on it, go to the top corner, shrink it. Great. And they're next to each other. One of the things I also like to do and to note, so what I just did there, if you copy something and you don't add a little space right here, and it's a tiny little space, little, very small, and then you decide, oh, I need to move it, and try to click on the side of it, nothing exists on the side of this picture. So if I click right here, I'm trying to go to the side of it, and I click space and the whole thing, that cat disappears. To undo something that you immediately just did, you're gonna click on your keyboard, Command Z, the letter Z. So down here is a little space. So I'm going to click this because I wanna copy this again, do Command C. And then click right here where the space is, and then Command V, letter V. Now it's there. And then if I wanted to move this compared to this side where I'm trying to click to the side of the picture and it's not working, versus down here where there's one little space, I can move this now. And so that looks like that. Command C to copy, Command V to paste, and also add little spaces between things that you do so that you can move them to where you want. One of the goals that some of the kids have is that they're able to identify pictures by asking them WH questions when the pictures have labels with them. And by labels, literally all I do is you could either press tab to jump forward a lot or a bunch of spaces. But with a label, I want to leave enough space under a picture to give it a word. So cat. And then I want it to be more centered because I'm particular about that. So this is called cat. If I don't feel like writing out the whole word cat again, I highlight it, Command C, And then do some tabs, head over here, Command V, so that this is a cat, that's a cat. Cool. If you want font to be bigger or to change, you're going to go up here. So up here in your little toolbar, you see font size, you see the font type, bold, italics, underline, text color, and then highlight color. If I don't want this to be Arial font, because I don't really care about Arial font. I like Georgia. I don't know why, I just do. So I'm going to click on this, Georgia, and then the font style changed. Great. If it's still pretty small and I want it to be bigger, I'm going to go here, and then I can do whatever thing I want. If the size changes, you just delete, you move some things around. Cool. Big words for cat. I probably will never ask you to make it that big. If anything, it's probably going to be, I don't know, 30. Let's pretend, right? Cat. So there's a lot of space between here, the bottom of the picture, and these words. You can tell how big a font is by like clicking next to it. So you can see that the size of the font is the length of this blinking bar right here, which is size 30. The reason that there's a giant gap right here is because over here, this whole section, this original space that I did, is still size 72. You know that because there's this unusual gap and I can't click up here. So I'm trying, and instead it's doing everything above. So what I do is either I could copy the entire section, and then you know that the fonts are different sizes because the font number disappears up here. So if I just highlighted this without getting the space over here, it'll tell me it's size 30. But if I go all the way to the side to double check if everything's the same, it disappears because this space over here is size 72 and this space font is size 30. I'm going to change that to size 30. And then suddenly the gap disappears because everything is the same. So that's all cat. Cool. If I don't want to go underneath here again and then find size 30 font to type the word dog, I can just copy this right here. Command C, Command V, it defaults to being size 30. And then under here is size 11 because I haven't changed the font size right here. So highlight this, dog, highlight this, dog. Or I want it to be bolded. I can do bold, I can do italics, I can do underline. Cool. So those are just the baseline ones. They're in the middle of the toolbar. Those do like you want it to be thicker. If you click on text color, you can change your font to any color. So I just made mine blue. And then if I wanted to highlight, which just surrounds it, so I could do a yellow highlight on a green word. If you want to change the landscape, you would go File, Page Setup. So right now it's just a normal 8x10 size vertical, and you want it to print sideways. Like if you have this giant picture of a black cat, you want it to fill the whole page, and you'll fill up more of the page if the picture is sideways. So you're going to go File, Page Setup. It's going to take you to this. Right now we're on portrait, so it's vertical. If you click landscape, it easily switches it to now it's long. This side is the short side. This side is the long side. So you're going to move it to a particular folder. If it's saved in what says My Drive, no one else can access it. It is literally yours unless you share who can see it, which sharing would be in the top right corner. Right now it says private only to me because this is literally saved in My Drive. So if I wanted to make sure that the others in the team could see it, like I'll probably give you access to this Avengers folder. So go to Avengers folder and then I can move here, right? Right now, no one has access to the Avengers folder because I was the only one that created it during summer school. So if I wanted to make sure that someone else got it, I would click share in the top right corner. And right now it'll tell you who has it. So if I wanted to share it with like any of you three, I could click it, or you could just type in the name. So like, that's if you wanted us to have access to the original copy. If you're like, this is done, I can send this out, or I can print it, you want to save it as a PDF because you want to email it. You go to File, Download, PDF document. One of the things that's cool about the PDF documents is that if a link, like a YouTube link or something is in here, and I want to share this song with you, which has been my jam lately. Skip ad, whatever. So it takes you to what exactly you want. You're gonna pause it because you don't need to keep listening. Click in the top, Command C. So again, using that. I'm gonna put it over here, Command V. It's going to do that. You're gonna press space. As soon as you press space, it turns it into a watchable link, right? I learned this trick during remote learning, so I keep learning along with you all. When you click on it, it'll show you this. You could hover over the YouTube, and sometimes it'll show you a little like screenshot of what the video is if you don't know what it is. And then if you decide you need to copy the link again, you can click copy link right here. But I think this is cool because like I copied it, right? It's small now because right here was size 30, right? This one's this. It doesn't look blue because I didn't do a space at the end of the link, so space. Now it's blue. I'm gonna click it, and then I'm gonna click edit link. The link is right here. You're not going to touch the bottom one, you're going to touch the top one. So if I wanted to do Hamilton Schuyler Sisters, because I didn't want you to see all this text and you just knew what it was. This link right here to the Schuyler Sisters, right? It takes you there, takes you to exactly what you want. Is the exact same as this one. So this one's smaller because it's the size 11 font. It's still an Arial font. It has not been changed to Georgia, but I click it, click the YouTube link. The link is the same, you just changed how it presents. And it takes you to the exact same song. So the presentation of how it looks is different. So if you wanted to send a bunch of YouTube links or something, and you didn't want to have to do like Hamilton Schuyler Sisters, and then highlight this, Command C, Command V. It's pretty big, so I'm gonna make it all small. I'm gonna make it at the same size, so I'm gonna highlight everything. And you can see it's a different font now because this one is Georgia because it was the one that we were using up top. And then this one is Arial because that was the default one. Arial normally will be the default font. So I made everything Georgia, so now it says everything is Georgia. I'm gonna change the font to 14 because that's just what I'm gonna do. If you didn't want to type out Hamilton Schuyler Sisters and wanted to make it a little bit more condensed and concise, you could just copy this, copy the link, whatever link it is, put it here, like click it once, edit link, Hamilton, can't spell, Schuyler, bam. And then it looks a little bit more compact and succinct, and it's just a handy trick. For saving it, now that we've gotten to this point, what I was saying about PDFs, that's cool. So file, download as a PDF, right? So it's gonna transfer and bounce over to your downloaded folder, then it's gonna pop up. It's saved now in your downloads, it's not saved on your desktop. So you have to make sure that you move it to your desktop so that you can access it again. File, download as a PDF. Hopefully the image will appear on your screen. If it doesn't, something will appear from your downloads folder. You're going to go File, in the top left, Duplicate, so it saves itself again, and then Save. If you went just File, Save, it would just save it again in your downloads folder. So, and then I would click Desktop. I could rename this whatever, save, and then now it's in my desktop. Hopefully that last part showed up on the screen share. I'm not quite sure what is always shared on screen share when I'm doing this on Zoom. But if you have any questions about that, feel free to let me know. Hopefully that makes Google Docs make a little bit more sense.